I'm Cody, W3AMG with Bridgecom Systems. Thank you all for attending. Hope you're doing well. In today's live stream, we're going to be covering Brandmeister, talk groups, channels, and how everything works together. We've been asked this a lot, how you set up talk groups, channels, what Brandmeister's for, all the different DMR networks. So we're going to do our best to cover that today. I'm most knowledgeable with Brandmeister, so that's primarily what we'll be sticking to. And we're going to have a great stream. If you know anyone who wants to learn about this, send them over here. We'll be live for probably about 45 minutes, and then the stream will be up afterwards, so if you want to go back and watch it, feel free to. A couple quick announcements, and we'll do some shout-outs. Let's see here. So we're actually giving away a brand new Anytone 878 UV2 Plus on the stream today, so make sure you sign up for that. Link in the description. You can go sign up for that and have a chance to win if you're present here. And then also, we have a special deal for you today. Any of you watching right now, it's just for you guys. We're not sending that out to everyone else. We're actually going to give away a free hat if you call in and purchase an Anytone radio or a Bridgecom Skybridge. Any of those purchases today, if you call in and tell one of our people you watched the stream, just today while the stream is going on, we will do that for you. So just if you want to do that, go ahead and pause the stream at any time. That way you can go do that and the stream will still be here for you when you get back. Awesome. Let's go ahead and do some shout outs. Let's see, who do we have in the house today? Good morning from Florida, KD4ASM. Good morning, Dave, K7GPS. Like the call sign. Mike, KF9AF. Good morning, Mike. Ed, KJ7DHY. Jeff, KD9RYT. Let's see. Josh, K4LLG. Good morning, everyone. Let's see. Ryan, KD7, missed the call sign. KD7RQ. Tony, KB0ACP. Michael, N3, get one off the screen there. Awesome. Gary, KO4GRV. Good morning, Gary. John, N4JMB. Awesome. Lots of people in the house today. Let's go ahead and get this started. So we have our radio here, and we have our Skybridge. First thing we want to do is actually get set up with a Brandmeister account if we don't have one already. There's a few different DMR networks out there. So a lot of people will mention this. Well, do I want to go with the Brandmeister network, the TGIF network? There's a few other networks as well. I mean, basically they kind of all do the same thing. A lot of, some people I've been told they think of it like a video calling service. You've got Zoom, you've got Google, you've got FaceTime, you've got all these different platforms out there. Do a very similar thing. They all kind of do it differently. Now the reason we like Brandmeister is because it's by far, it seems to be the most popular, and there's talk groups for just about everything out there, and it works great with the Skybridge and this radio, but you can use these with other networks. So if you want to use this with TGIF, you could absolutely do that. Just keep in mind your talk group numbers will be different, but we're going to primarily focus on Brandmeister. Awesome. So let's pull up our computer here. I'm going to open up a web browser, and we're going to go to brandmeister.network. Now at this point, you will have to already have your call sign and your DMR ID, which I have, W3AMG, and then I have my ID here. And from here, we can either register. So if you're new, you'll click on register and just fill out the information here. Now in this case, I already have an account, so I'm going to log in. We'll just enter my information here. Perfect. Log in. Great, so we're in good shape here. Now at this point, you can actually see all the information in Brandmeister. Now the key for setting up a hotspot, if you want to use your account with a hotspot, is actually creating a Brandmeister password, a hotspot security password. Now we would do that if you go to the services and then self-care. There's a tab here for that, and we're going to scroll down, and there's a hotspot security password. Now in order to use your digital hotspot with Brandmeister, you'll have to create that security hotspot password, and then actually put that in your hotspot. Very simple, just something we have to do. But Brandmeister is awesome. We can go to the dashboard, see a lot of information. Actually, in the show notes, I have some additional Brandmeister tips. We'll go through a few of these. We recommend keeping like the air security feature off, which is located here in the self-care section. It's a good idea to do that unless you really know what you're doing with it. And then, let's see here. If we go to last heard, we can actually see other people on the network. Who's on there, who's talking, where. So if you want to find out where the activity is, the dashboard and all this Brandmeister information is a great way to look at that and monitor what's going on out there. But let's actually get set up with our hotspot and our Brandmeister account before we dive too much into that. So I have my password, I've got that set up. Now I've got my SkyBridge plugged in here. What I'm going to do now is actually have a look at the SkyBridge, and I can see I've got it plugged into power into Ethernet. So I want to look for this IP address here. So let's see, it's 192.168. So 192.168.1.117. I think it's 117, right? Yep, perfect. Now, one of the great things about the SkyBridge is it will actually display that information on the screen. So you can connect, well, I think I typed it in wrong. Let's see. 192.168. Yep, it was 177. One of the great things about it is it will display that information on the screen, so you don't have to go searching for it. I know a lot of hotspots out there. You have to go log into your network, your router. All of them are different, so it's hard to really make a great tutorial for that. And then try to find the IP address, which changes every time, potentially, depending on how your network's set up. So you're always going to be searching for that. Whereas the SkyBridge, it just shows it right on the screen, and you can type it in. Awesome. So once we're at the dashboard, we can click on Configuration, and we're going to have to type in a username and a password. Now in this case, all of the SkyBridges are going to be set up the same way. The username is going to be pi-star, and the password is raspberry. Just like that. And we can log in. And from here, we're going to see all the information. So the SkyBridge can actually not only work with multiple networks, it can work with multiple modes as well. So we can have DMR or D-Star. There's some different, you can cross mode, a lot of options there. We're going to stick with DMR. And here's all of your configuration. So really all we care about is that our call sign's in there, our DMR ID is in there, which is correct, and then the frequency. We want to make sure that frequency is the same as what our radio is. Now, if you buy your radio and your SkyBridge, we actually offer a plug-and-play package where we do all the setup for you, take care of all the hard stuff, and you just get it and you're on the air immediately. You don't have to worry about all this. It's all done for you. Now, if you bought the supercode plug and the radio and the SkyBridge, it will also be ready in terms of the frequencies matching up. But in this case, I have a SkyBridge that's not programmed that way, so I'm going to change this to match up with the supercode plug. Actually, today we're going to use the ultra code plug. The brand new code plug that came out has even more, so we're going to use that. Change the frequency, and then some more information there. Some of this is recommended you fill out, but it's not necessarily required, like the locations. And then this should just be left alone. And we're going to change this to a private network. That way no one else in the shop accidentally bothers us. And we can pretty much leave everything else alone here. The Dmr Master, potentially you would want to change this depending on where you're located. We have a few different options here. The 3103 is located in California, 3102 is in Texas, and 3104 is in Illinois. So just depending on where you're at in the country, you can use different ones. We've had generally here in the Midwest good luck with 3102, but depending on where you're at, you'll want to change that. Now, if for some reason everything's working great and one day it stops working for no reason, you didn't change anything, once in a while they'll take these Brandmeister servers down for service, and so you can just go and switch onto a different one. If that ever happens to you, just keep that in mind. Go try a different DMR server. That is for Brandmeister. Awesome. So we're set here. We can also configure Wi-Fi if we want, but we're just going to leave that alone for now since we have it hardwired, and apply changes. So at this point, we've got the SkyBridge set up. We have a Brandmeister account. We have a basic understanding of Brandmeister and kind of how to set it up. Now you may be asking, if you're real new to this, what does Brandmeister even do? Why do I want that? Well, what Brandmeister does is basically allows you to connect to people around the world or in different countries, different states on these different talk groups. So instead of having just a local repeater that can talk to people in your own town, with Brandmeister, you get people's local repeaters hooked into this network. So now you're able to talk to people across the globe who also are talking to either local repeaters connected to the network or to SkyBridges that are connected to the network. So it really opens up your horizons on who you're going to be able to talk to. So instead of needing, $4,000 worth of HF gear to talk to someone on the other side of the world, now you can do it with just a simple radio and hotspot setup or talk through a repeater. It kind of opens the door for communication. And, obviously I know a lot of people say, well, what if everything goes down? All the infrastructure. And sure, that's a valid concern. But the thing is, the majority of the time, everything is up and we're just wanting to communicate with people. It's perfect for that. You really can't beat it. Awesome. Let's go here and set up the radio. So we've got our SkyBridge set up. Now, let's plug in our radio. So I'm going to open the programming port and plug the programming cable into the side here. Just like that. We'll turn on the radio. We'll plug that into the computer here. So make sure the radio is plugged in and turned on. And now I'm going to open up the CPS. Now we always want to read from our radio first, so we're going to read from the radio. Although, since we're going to be using the Ultra Code plug, we don't actually have to do that. But if you're going to be creating something yourself, I always would recommend you read from the radio first. But if you're importing another code plug from an RDT file, it won't really make a difference. Awesome. So we're set up here. Now at this point, I'm going to click on the Open button. And we'll go to our desktop. We won't save that. Desktop. And we have the Ultra Code plug. Awesome. Oops. Let's see, make sure we have that there. Ultra Code plug. RDT. Okay, it should be in there. Maybe I clicked on the wrong one. I believe so. Okay, so we'll go to Open again. And Ultra Code plug. Here we go, perfect. And then UCP. And now at this point, we can select what kind of radio we have. So if you get an Ultra Code plug, you're going to be given options. That way it will work with all of your radios. So we're going to find out, I have an Anytone 878 UV2 Plus. So we'll find it in here, 878. There's 8782. This one looks like the right one. So we'll open that. Now it's going to open that entire code plug into the radio. So we'll give it a second here. Awesome. So now we have the code plug in the radio. We can see 44655, which is our frequency. We set up the SkyBridge to work with that, so we'll be good. We'll be in good shape there. Now there is some basic information we'll need to add. So if we click on the Digital tab and then Radio ID list, we'll double click here, the Radio ID. We want to change this to our own radio ID. So 3152688, and name and call sign. Awesome. We're good there. And then I like to go into optional settings and tweak a few things as well. So we'll go to the power on. We can put our name and call sign in here. Just like that. And you can change other features, like I like having the sub-channel mode off, which it is. You can really do as much customization as you want here, but we'll just leave that alone. Perfect, just like that. Now, let's talk about zones and channels and talk groups and how they all work together. So what are they? So really, channels are what you're going to be seeing on your radio when you're switching through. So if I'm switching through this dial here, I'm going to see these different channels showing up. Now down below the channels, so as we can see, I'm switching through, there's these different channels. Now that's what a channel is. That could be either a talk group you're using through your SkyBridge, or it could be a local repeater. Now down below that is what's called the zone. So if you have multiple zones, which I don't think I have in here, you can scroll through them with the up and down buttons. So channels and zones are really kind of like a zone is more of a folder, so it organizes all your files. And then zones or channels are all of the actual items in the folder. That's how I like to look at it. Now talk groups are more of a digital thing. So you're always going to have a channel if you're talking to someone. Now that channel may be a talk group, or it may be a local repeater. So if I have my radio set up purely for the SkyBridge, I'm going to have lots of different channels that are all talking to the same frequency, but each channel has a different talk group. And that's how it would work with the SkyBridge. Now on the other hand, if I'm talking to a repeater, it could be the same thing, all the same frequency talking to that repeater, but different talk groups. And I would probably put all those into a zone for that specific device so I could keep it organized. Now on the other hand, if I'm just talking to analog repeaters, each of those channels is probably going to be a different repeater. So channels are basically just, each thing has to go into a channel, and then you can organize it with your zones. And talk groups are purely just for DMR and for digital. So we'll have a look at that here. So in the channel section, we can see everything is located here in the channel section. So we can scroll down through this. Everything here. So we have, let's see, in this ultra code plug, let's see how many channels we have. Obviously it's spaced out a little bit, but I believe there are over 800 actual channels in here if you get rid of all the spacing. So that's a lot of channels. That would take a long time to produce. And then if we go into zones, we can see we have all these different zones here. So this is how things are organized. So we have our SkyBridge zone, which is just the most popular, SkyBridge talk groups that people talk on DMR. Then we have all 50 states, and then we have the NOAA weather channels. Excuse me. And then we have different countries, and we actually have, not only do we have those countries, we have different provenances in those countries for certain areas. I know those are in here as well in some of the zones. So there's a lot of different information here and different places you can talk to. It's really cool because instead of just talking to Canada, so if you just program Canada in, you're going to have 12 different areas within Canada you can talk in. So if, for example, I open this up, you can see all these different areas. So the Ultra Code plug is really extensive of being able to talk to people around the world, but this is the basic structure of how it's put together. So that's going to be done with a zone of your organization, and then within a zone, so if we click on this, that's where your channels go, or in this case, talk groups, but we're kind of interchanging them. Now, if we click on contact/talk group, this is where the actual talk groups are. So the talk group is simply the talk group and the talk group number, but you can't simply just talk to a talk group. That's why we have channels. You have to actually put it in the channel. So hopefully that makes sense. We'll have some questions here in a little bit, and if you don't understand that, feel free to ask questions, speak up, and hopefully I can explain it in more detail if I've been unclear about it. And then, so from here, we're pretty much set. There is one thing I would like to do. We'll make sure optional settings, display, perfect. Background picture is custom one. I always like to have a custom background picture, so we're going to go to Tool, Standby Background Picture 1, and then Open Image. We'll just use this one, and right to the radio. That'll just make it look fancy like it was. Otherwise, you're just going to have a plain background. Awesome. We are all set there. Now we'll wait for the radio to come back online. Just open up your communication port. And don't forget, guys, if you have any questions at all, feel free to give us a call, 816-532-8451, and press 2, and we will definitely take care of you. If you have questions about a radio, about your existing radio, it's not working right for you, or if you're thinking about getting into it, you want some advice on where to get started, or if you don't have your DMR ID, I know a lot of people have had trouble with that. Some of our guys will actually help you, walk you through the process of getting your DMR ID and your Brandmeister account. So definitely give us a call, 816-532-8451, and press 2, and we would love to help you, whatever you need. And then right now, we actually have a special going on. So during the stream, or in fact, I tell you what, I'll do it for a couple hours after the stream as well, just no longer than that. We're going to throw in a free Bridgecom hat, $25 value, with any Anytone radio or Skybridge that you purchase. So that's really cool. You get to have your own very own Bridgecom hat, show your involvement in the ham radio community. We'll throw them completely for free. Awesome. Here we go. Click OK. And now at this point, we can click the Write to Radio button. Click OK, and then we are going to check the digital contact list. We would typically do that. That way we're going to be able to see everyone out there. Now, I have already put the digital contact list in this radio, so for time's sake, we're not going to check that this time. So just click OK, and it'll import everything. So let's take some questions. Do we have any questions? Awesome. So it looks like this looks like it imported properly, so we're in good shape there. If we go over here to our radio, we can unplug it. Now at this point, we should be able to talk to the Skybridge. And we'll go over a little bit about talking on one of these DMR networks, in this case, Brandmeister. There we go. So we're on the Skybridge zone. We can see we can switch our channels up here. Now the first channel you're going to see is the parrot. Now what the parrot does is pretty self-explanatory. It actually, you talk to it and it will talk back to you. So if you're just getting into it, this is a great way to test it. For the most part, it's private, so people, you can get used to it. You can talk to your radio, make sure everything's working well, see if everything sounds good before you actually go out and talk to someone. So let's try it real quick. We've got our radio here. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG, trying out the parrot.
Testing 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG, trying out the parrot.
Awesome. How cool is that? So it totally works. Everything's working great. We can see on here the last caller is the parrot, so we can see who's talking to us, which in this case was the parrot, and it worked great. So now let's say I've talked to a talk group like the parrot, for example, or maybe I was on the Missouri talk group and I want to disconnect from that talk group, right? So what we're going to do, looks like someone else is on there. What we're going to do is go over here to the talk group disconnect. Should be able to find it here. Yep. Sky TG disk. So this talk group here is a disconnect. Now, if you're programming this yourself, that is going to be talk group 4000. What that will do is actually disconnect you from your current talk group and allow you to talk to another one. So I know a lot of people ask, hey, I'm talking on one talk group, but now I can't talk on another one, right? So what the disconnect will do, it will actually disconnect you from that and allow you to talk on another talk group. So we'll try it here real quick. When it works, it will give you a message that says not linked, and you'll know it's successful. Now, if you're on a really busy talk group, sometimes it's difficult to actually key this up because your radio is talking simplex to the hotspot. So if your radio is hearing something, it's not going to be able to transmit to the hotspot. So you have to wait until there's an open period with no conversation to actually key this up. So we're just going to key it up here.
Not linked.
Perfect, just like that. You heard it, not linked, and that means we're now disconnected. So this is a lot of people forget about this and they get frustrated. Remember to disconnect from your talk group before talking on the next one. Awesome. So we're in pretty good shape here. Let's see if we can get someone on. We'll try the Missouri talk group. This is W3AMG talking on the Missouri talk group. Is there anyone out there local today? See if we get anyone back here.
Hello, W3AMG. This is W4JMD. I'm not local. I'm in North Carolina, but I was watching your live stream and heard you come through on here. Thought I'd say hey.
Awesome. Thank you for coming back to me. Sounding loud and clear. What kind of radio and setup are you talking on today?
Well, actually, I'm talking on an Anytone 878 UV2 Plus that I got from Bridgecom. They're fantastic. Wouldn't you agree?
Awesome. Awesome, glad to hear it. Hey, thank you for coming back to me. Yeah, it's a great day in Kansas City today. We're just north of Kansas City. Where are you located?
I'm located in Mexico, Missouri, Audrain County. And, yep, I bought this radio from you guys, and I'm watching the live video event, and hopefully I'll have a second one when this is over. But you're doing a great job. I appreciate all the videos. Go ahead.
WB5JZP, I'm watching your video.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for coming back to me. Yeah, having a good time with radio. Radio is a lot of fun. Talk to more people every day. So I appreciate it. You have a wonderful day. And 7-3. Perfect. Yeah, we talked to a few people there. I couldn't keep track of all the call signs in my head.
Well, this is W4JMD.
Awesome. How cool is that? So we were able to talk to quite a few people just in that short period of time out on the Missouri talk group. That was neat. We caught someone who was actually in Missouri, Mexico, Missouri, I believe. So that was pretty cool. A lot of people you can talk to on DMR. That's the great thing about Brandmeister. You can talk to people all around the world or local in your own area. So that's pretty neat. Let's take some questions now.
Dave Mattingly asks, can I use my Apple earbuds with my 878 Plus?
That's a great question. So you can theoretically use them. I've heard mixed results on if you can use like AirPods with your radio. I have actually successfully paired AirPods before and it worked, but I've also heard people who've had trouble with it. So most Bluetooth headsets work great, but I would, maybe see if you can, try out a friend's radio with the AirPods first, or get your radio. Now we do offer a Bluetooth earpiece, so if it wasn't to work, we've got you covered. But generally, most Bluetooth headsets work fine with it.
Nick Gavin asks, I'm new to the DMR world. Is the hotspot like a cellular hotspot, or is it just some specific to DMR?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. A lot of people get confused. In fact, I even did, or still do occasionally on that subject. So this hotspot, I guess really should be known as more of a gateway than a hotspot. This allows you to connect directly into the Brandmeister network, the DMR network, from your own home. You can connect it to the internet either via an Ethernet cable like this, or you can connect it to Wi-Fi. So you could connect it to your home Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi on your cellular device. So it's less of a cellular hotspot, if you will, as opposed to a gateway. It connects your radio into the network without having to talk to a local repeater. So it kind of acts as your own little personal repeater. Now, you could certainly use this in conjunction with a cellular hotspot, so you can use it anywhere.
Eric Damon asks, which is more up to date, BM or repeater book?
Awesome. Yeah, I think I missed the first part of that question. Repeater book, I've always had good luck with that. That's really the only one I'm familiar with. But I'm sure there's some other good options out there too.
John Bowman asks, when disconnecting from a talk group, is it normal for it to say not linked and still disconnect?
Absolutely. That is exactly what it should do. When you keep the disconnect, it should say not linked, and then it should disconnect. Awesome. While we're waiting here, I see a question. I've got asked this a lot. Can the Bluetooth radio work with a Sena motorcycle headset in a helmet? Absolutely, it can. I've had quite a few customers use that with it, and it's worked great for them. A lot of guys like to ride, and they want to connect it to their motorcycle helmet, and it works great with everyone I've talked to who's tried it so far has had good results with it. Awesome. And while we're waiting here, I'm actually going to give you guys a sneak peek of something that's coming down the road. It's called Bridgecom Plus. I can't go into too many details right now, but it's going to be pretty neat for those of you who want to be really involved with the ham radio community and have some special perks. Bridgecom Plus is going to be for you. So we'll be giving you more details later. Unfortunately, I can't give that out today, but just want to give you guys a sneak peek. There is something really cool coming down the road. Let's see, do we have any more questions here?
Can you join the live stream from Facebook? Just curious.
Absolutely, yeah. So we stream to YouTube and Facebook and potentially more platforms in the future. So if you want to watch from Facebook or YouTube, you can absolutely do so. I see a question here, if you can run Brandmeister and TGIF on the SkyBridge. So I was actually talking to one of our techs beforehand about that particular question. You can run Brandmeister, you can also talk to TGIF, you're just not going to be able to do them both at the same time very easily. You can switch back and forth though, absolutely.
And we have a winner for our giveaway. That's going to be Justin Vaquez, call sign KE0UIH.
KE0UIH. Awesome. Let's see if he is in the house. If not, we will draw another winner. So we'll find out here real quick. And if he is, he's just won himself a brand new Anytone 878 UV2 Plus radio, brand new in the box. And that will also include Bridgecom University, which is, of course, it's got over 100 videos in it. We'll teach you step by step how to program your radio, how to use it, everything we cover here in more detail and more concise. We'll walk you through all of those steps and processes. And we usually charge $97 for it. We're just throwing it in for free when you buy a radio. And for this lucky winner, they're also going to get it completely free along with their radio. Awesome. He is in the house. Congratulations. You have just won yourself a brand new Anytone 878 UV2 Plus and a subscription to Bridgecom University, totally free. So you're going to be on the air in no time. Congratulations. And for all of you else, everyone else out there, please give us a call if you have any questions about the stream, about your radio, anything ham radio related, 816-532-8451 and press 2. And right now, if you want to hop off the stream and you're in the market for a radio, just tell them Cody told you we'll give you a free hat. As long as it's today, within 2 hours after the stream ended, give us a call and we'll hook you up with a radio, a SkyBridge, whatever you need, and I'll throw in a free Bridgecom hat for you. So awesome. Congratulations. Hope you all enjoyed. If you have questions, please let us know, and we will see you next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. Thank you all for watching. I'm Cody, W3AMG 73.